Well, greetings and welcome back to yet another installment of Rapidlicks. So, good people of the internet, I have got a wild, spicy lick for you today. Basically what this is a string skipping lick. I am really bad at this technique, so I thought I'd dig deep into the licks of Paul Gilbert to try and find something that would frustrate me and make me feel really inadequate. So I've done that, and I've decided to teach you this exact lick so that you also can suffer the same pain I've been feeling for the last week. Let's go. So I will preface all of this by saying that this lick is really hard. I find this incredibly challenging to do. Your accuracy and your pinky stamina is going to, I don't know how else to tell you this. This is going to suck. Your pinky's going to be sore. You're going to be frustrated. Just stay with this. You'll get it. Trust me. Okay, good luck. All right, so this lick itself is nothing too crazy. Basically, it's going to all be in the key of E minor. We're going to start off on a D, and basically the way that this thing works is we're going to be just outlining arpeggios and moving up the arpeggios. In the intro video I did, that was just kind of a bit of a wank I had at the end there to finish it off. You can do that or something else. I might teach to you later if you really want to know how to do that too. But we'll get to that later. Again, like I said, this whole thing is based off of, your basic E minor. Nothing too crazy, nothing spicy there. The thing that really is interesting about this, though, is the movement between all of these chord shapes. Let me play this lick one time through at a reasonable pace here, and then we'll break it down together, okay? All right. All right. Okay, so to start things off, what we're going to do is, like I said, this is all going to be based around E minor and all of the chords in E minor. So as long as you know each of the chords associated with that particular scale, this won't be too hard at all. So I start this thing off with basically a D major with a string skip. So what I want you to do, and basically there's only three shapes this. We're going to do major, minor, and diminished shapes. These are the only shapes you're going to deal with for this whole pattern. So they're just going to move around, and that's that. But the first shape is a D major. So to play the D major, easy way to do is just think about, get your index finger right there on the 10th fret. You know that's a D. So that, just think of that always as your root. That'll be your chord. So for D major, what I'm doing is I'm picking up here, which is the third. It happens to be the 13th fret. So I pick that once, pull off back to the 10. Now's the string skip. I go over the B string, and I jump up here onto my G string and I grab the 14th fret there. I pick that once and I pull off back to the 11th fret. Okay, so that's what we got so far. Just like that. And then what I do is I come over here and I grab the 12th fret on the D string, which of course happens to be D. Makes sense because we're in D major. And you may have already noticed this. That's a root. That's a third, that's a fifth, that's a root, that's a third. See, it's just outlining the arpeggio. So, up to this point, here's what we got. Okay, so coming back through this, now that you've just finished playing the 12th fret on the D string, which happens to be a D, you're going to go back up through the arpeggio again. So back onto your G string, you're going to play 11, hammer on to the 14th fret. Then this is a little bit tricky here. Take your index finger all the way back up onto the E string with the string skip, which is on now the D on the 10th fret. Okay, so here's what we got so far. Just like that. Now instead of going all the way up and finishing this off, what I want you to do is come back down. So we've got, now come back exactly where you were. Just like that. So basically all I did is I came back onto my G string, I played the 13th fret and I pulled that off to the 11th. Okay, so here's what we got. Okay, good. Now this is where Paul Gilbert and his phrasing gets kind of spicy. He jumps up here and he plays the, and he generally starts his phrase again by playing the 13th fret on the high E string, pull off again to the 10, string skip over to the 13 on the G string and stop. Okay, so here's what we got so far, okay? Okay, now we're not done with this lick yet. After you've gotten to that point, come back up again onto that high E string, and then come back down. Okay, so all together, this entire sequence looks like this. That's it. That is the entire pattern. So as long as you remember that pattern, the way that works, I'll show you the rest of the arpeggios, and you'll have this in no time. That's a lie. This is really hard. It might take you a little bit. Okay, so we've already done the D major arpeggio. Great. Now what we're going to do is a diminished arpeggio. So basically what you can do too is you could think of this as a E flat diminished arpeggio if you like. So anyway, like I said, we're going to start off this arpeggio by playing up here on the 14th fret of the high E. Play that once. Pull off back to the 11th fret, string skip over, grab the 13th fret on the G string, pull off back to the 11th fret. So we got this so far. And then grab right there that spicy note, the 13th fret on the D string. So here's what we got. This is the arpeggio. And of course, all you need to do with this is just apply the exact same pattern that we did on the last one. So it'll sound kind of like this. Okay, so that's your diminished arpeggio. Next we need to do a minor arpeggio. So this one's good. We're in E minor. Nothing's weird here. So we're going to do an E minor arpeggio. Simple, right? But with a string skip. So for the E minor, just come up to your regular E box like everybody knows and loves. So all we're going to do here is we're going to start off on the 15th fret of the high E. Pick that once. Pull off back to the E located on the 12th fret on the E string like so. String skip, and this is a bit of a reach. You got to come over here with your pinky and grab the G string on the 16th fret and play that once. Pull off back to the 12th fret. Whoops. Like that. So here's what we got so far for the E. Okay. Now to finish the arpeggio, nothing too fancy here. We're just going to go ahead and play right there, which is an E. Easy enough, right? So we're going to play that E on the D string, 14th fret. So here's that's your E minor arpeggio, okay? So all we're going to do, of course, is reapply that same sequence I showed you on the first and second arpeggios to this one. So let's do that. Awesome. Now this is where things get a bit spicy. This is another diminished lick. So as you know, we played this diminished lick down here. That diminished arpeggio there. And like everything diminished, we know that basically they're always 4 frets apart. So if we started here, we know 1, 2, 3, 4. We can do that exact same diminished lick here and it'll work. So all I'm doing for this one is the diminished lick I showed you, but starting up here on the 17th fret of the high E string and just like that. Okay. It's the exact same one that we played down here, which was same thing, just up a little bit higher. And just like that. Okay, so let's put this all together and do it together slowly. Okay, so let's play up to that point together slowly. All right, let's do this a little bit quicker. All right, maximum effort. I'll try not to make this too sloppy. Nailed it! Okay, so in the first clip when I ended it, if you want to do what I did there, so you do your last diminished arpeggio. Like that, all I do is I grab right here on the 17th fret, bend it up a full step, put some vibrato on it, and then I basically pick it again with it released, and then I just walk down the scale. I think I actually did something kind of like this, which is fine. All I'm doing there is a trill with a pinch harmonic, and I'm ending on an E. Again, we're in the key of E minor, so ending on a root is always a good choice. It will always sound good. Pro tip. All right, so we should probably talk about picking. You can really do this any which way you want. I've got a really bizarre way to do this. It's the only way I can play this at this kind of speed. There's no real easy way to do this, so I'd say experiment to see what works for you. This is what's working for me. I think Paul Gilbert just alternate picks all this stuff because he's a beast. But I definitely cannot do that and maintain any speed at all. So I'm economy picking. But again, do what works for you. So here's what I do. I do a downstroke here, pull off, upstroke, pull off, and I go all the way through with the economy pick, upstroke again, onto my root. And then when I come back down, I'm doing a downstroke, hammer on, hammer on again, pull off, and then I'm back into upstrokes. You see what I'm doing? I'm doing like almost like a sweep, but not really. It's kind of a hybrid economy picking thing, but that's what I'm doing for my pattern as I go. Like that, and that's what seems to be working. So again, practice with this, see what makes the most sense for you. It's challenging, but you'll figure something out for this eventually, I promise. Also, you might have noticed, I don't have it on right now, but when I did play the intro one, I was using a string mute. I'd recommend you practice this without the string mute. I just threw it on there so that I could get a decent clean take without driving myself insane, because this is freaking hard. So yeah, there you go. Use it if you got one, but try and practice without it so that you really work on your muting technique, so you don't have a lot of jangly strings. All right, so there you go. There you have it. That's the entire lick. It is a whopper of a string skipping sequenced workout piece. It's challenging. It's hard. It will really just tax your pinky and your hand stamina as a whole trying to get this down and get it up to speed. But just stick with it. You will get it. I really like this lick because it outlines chords, which is great. You can use this anywhere. I mean, you could just think of other chords that are in this shape that are either major or minor. You could do that. I mean, like I didn't play it, but you could always do, a C major, right? Because that's an E minor. You can do whatever you want. The sky's really the limit as long as you know your theory behind this stuff. So again, it's a great, useful thing. As long as you know what key you're in, chords are in it, you can take this idea and apply it to whatever improvising or soloing you are doing, which is great. So thanks, Paul Gilbert. That's pretty damn useful. Also, when you're doing this, I made this into a sequence. Really what I want you to take away is just the actual movements that you're doing. So again, like if you're doing something diminished, you could just sit there like that and just loop it. That sounds cool as well. And again, you don't need to play this in the sequence that I'm playing this in or the sequence that Paul Gilbert uses. You could just, play it straight through and sit there. I mean, that works too. It sounds pretty good. So yeah, just do whatever you want with it. Anyways, that's it. That's the entire lick, people. I hope you enjoyed it. If you learned something and you like the content, please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. That really helps this channel out. And as per usual, just keep on shredding and we'll talk to you in another video. Bye for now.